These are 10 times Meg was the least liked griffin, starting with the time her aggressive babysitting style made Stewie run away in Peter's lost youth.
And while we're gone, Brian's in charge. Where is Brian?
What's up, Jizz?
Capable pause, I'm sure. Who wouldn't trust a wet, sloppy smile like that? But Meg questions why an 18-year-old like herself needs to take orders from a dog.
Believe me, Meg, you want me in charge. Stewie can be a bit of a handful.
He's right, you know.
Yeah, I guess if you aren't prepared to travel through time or hop across the multiverse at a moment's notice, this job ain't for you.
All right, fine. Meg, while we're away, you can be in charge.
This is like putting the front doormat in charge of the house. She's gonna be walked all over. And Stewie's reaction to Meg's authority is about what you'd expect.
Hey, by the way, I'm gonna flush your retainer down the toilet.
It's clear Stewie doesn't want his sister in his business, but that won't stop Meg from trying.
Okay, Stewie, time for you to get dressed.
Yeah, a closed door means come in, I guess.
Meg has a whole itinerary of fun things to do, but Stewie engages in the ultimate form of protest, pooping on things.
Or how about this? I press my butt against the wall and duke on it.
Hey, if he did that in front of a crowd at a gallery, we'd call it performance art. But Meg doesn't have the patience for skid mark wallpaper.
You just earned a timeout.
Oh, what? Let go of me!
Finally, a family member who doesn't have dominion over Meg. And you better believe she's gonna take advantage of that.
Now sit here until I say you can get up. And if you move one muscle before then, I'll smack you in your weird head.
You know, this kind of physicality is kinda Stewie's kink, but I guess with it being Meg doing it, it's just scary.
Meg's awful. She gave me a timeout and she made me sit in this chair.
But the eyeshadow was Stewie's idea. If he's gonna be the damsel in distress, he's sure as hell gonna look like one. But maybe Brian can help.
Stewie, Lois put Meg in charge, and honestly, once I knew that, I ate a pot cookie.
Good to know that the second responsibility is relieved from him. Brian's first move is to get baked. Sounds like a healthy hobby.
All right, that's it. I'm not just gonna sit here and see what that psycho does next.
Ah yes, the running away phase of childhood. Remember how you'd get to the end of your driveway and then stop because if you went further you'd get eaten by an octopus? No? Just me?
Oh my god, a baby! My name's Shelly. I can't have any of my own. Would you like to come home with me?
Somehow that sounds worse than the octopus. And by the time night rolls around, Meg is completely oblivious to the fact that he ran away.
Oh my god, Stewie! I forgot he's been in a timeout for 6 hours.
That's like a 20-year prison stint for toddlers. Timeouts like that can change a man.
Oh no, where is he? He's gone! I'm gonna be in so much trouble.
Yeah, and Stewie might be dead. Feel like that worry should probably take precedence. And by the time morning comes around, they still haven't been able to find Stewie.
Hi, honey. How you doing? How's Stewie?
Oh, he's great, not lost or anything.
Ah, well, good thing he's not that very specific thing Lois didn't even bring up. Great cover, Meg.
We're in trouble. I'm in trouble.
Hey, what's this, a weed convention?
Oh, there he is. Well, it was nice knowing you, tension and drama. But he still hasn't gotten over his fear of Meg.
She's scary and mean, and I don't ever want her to be in charge of me.
Are you afraid of me, little guy?
I mean, you did threaten to punt his head like a field goal. Being gentle and kind isn't exactly your strong suit.
Can you forgive me?
Well, all right.
Hugs are had and the sibling bond is restored. Honestly, not the worst outcome of Meg being in charge. I was expecting at least one gruesome death, but there's always next time. But there almost wasn't a next time for Meg as she fell under the influence of a mind-controlling stray cat in Family Cat. So Peter's looking to install 5 front doors on his home because that's just how he spends his weekends, with countless amounts of property damage.
What the hell are you doing, Peter?
5 front doors, Lois.
Damn it! Did you stop taking your OCD meds?
Might need something a little stronger to quell Peter's shenanigans, like an elephant tranquilizer. So now the Griffins just gotta live with a huge hole in the wall. It's not so bad. You can hear the crickets, feel the cool night air, and invite new friends in.
Oh, hi! If I knew my lap was gonna have visitors, I would have changed my rowing underwear.
I don't want to be the one to say it, but the smell of the underwear might have been what brought the cat in the first place.
And just like that, the Griffins have a cat.
So Meg keeps the cat and names her Pouncy, which naturally is a problem for the resident dog of the house.
I just feel like I should have been consulted on this decision to bring my natural enemy into the house.
That's weird. I didn't hear anybody say anything about bringing an honest day's work or paying rent into the house. Speaking of Brian's natural enemy, Quagmire stops by to give him a little rundown on what to expect when owning a cat.
What's toxoplasmosis?
Oh, it's nothing. Just a parasite found in cat feces.
That probably won't tie into the story at all. Moving on. But Brian still isn't sold on this new guest. Here's hoping they can just talk it out.
Oh my god, I'm totally in your head.
Whoa, stop the clock. You can talk?
I guess she just doesn't make a big deal out of it. Not so special now, are you, Brian?
Cats aren't pets. Humans are the pets. And I have big plans for Meg.
If I were a betting clam, I would guess that those plans have something to do with a certain fecal parasite. So Brian goes to Stewie to tell him about Pouncy's intentions, but he's become smitten with the furball too.
We were just discussing our book about Chinese communism with Chairman Mao. You're right.
It's nice to see Stewie finally meet his intellectual match, even if it is a cat. Brian tries to warn Meg, but she brushes him off, claiming he's never made the move to be there for her in the past.
I'm a punching bag at school and at home. And there were some days where I could have really used a dog to help cheer me up.
In his defense, Meg, I probably wouldn't try coming within 15 feet of you either after all the stuff you tried to pull on Brian.
I have a new pet now. One that's there for me when I need her. Unlike you.
But lo and behold, Pouncy manages to sink her claws into Meg, literally and metaphorically.
You're mine now, Meg.
Ow!
And from there, Pouncy leads a hypnotized Meg out of the house to her cat lady Destiny. Dutiful parenting there, Peter. And the only one who seems to care to check in on her is Brian, but he's too late.
Oh my god!
She left, didn't she?
Quagmire?
Oh, and I guess him. Considering he's the cat expert, it looks like Brian will have no choice but to heed his warnings.
Sometimes, when they find the right person, they enslave them to do their bidding for the rest of their lives.
Hey, somebody's got to feed all the feral cats and reek of cat urine for the rest of their life, right? So Brian arms himself to the teeth and takes on Pouncy and the hordes of stray cats. This is the fight he's built towards his entire life, and though he does his species proud, he can't win on his own.
Now I'm gonna make you watch as you lose her forever.
But never fear, the town's cat expert is here. And yes, that can be used as a double entendre.
I should be the cat lady. Give me the sweater.
So in a noble sacrifice, Quagmire takes on the duty of being the crazy cat lady of the neighborhood. All of this could have been avoided if the family actually paid attention to Meg, or, kept her up to date on her vaccinations. Cat scratch fever is no joke, and neither is lifeguarding, as Meg found out when her dad kept bugging her at her new job, eventually leading to her saving his life with CPR in Lifeguard Meg. So the family is visiting an ocean park when Stewie trips and falls into a dolphin aquarium.
Stewie! Well, I'm out of ideas.
That's okay, Brian, your pointless barking has already helped out a lot. But never fear, because Meg is somehow the only competent one here.
Hey, check out the new edition. She's hot.
Probably not the first time Meg's been mistaken for a sea cow. But Meg manages to save Stewie just in time, and that heroic display earns her a job.
We have a job opening over at our water slide park. I think you'd make an excellent lifeguard.
Oh sure, when Meg pulls a child out of the water, she gets a job. When I do it, all I get is, a talking clam, call the military. No respect, I tell ya.
Okay, well, you're basically hired. The only lifeguard test left is for you to run all sultry in slow motion.
Because as everyone knows, if you see someone drowning, you gotta make sure you get to them as slowly as possible. So Meg is enjoying the chill, carefree life of being a lifeguard, but there's one thing she loves most of all.
No more abuse from my family. In fact, no family at all.
Ah, peace and tranquility. Well, that was nice. Anyway, send in the family.
Since you work here, I got a discount on a season pass. I'll be here all day, every day.
And now we get to see how quickly Meg can dive headfirst into the shallow end.
I'm a lifeguard, I could just throw you out.
You could also not save Peter if he were to suddenly start drowning. Not making any suggestions, just putting some feelers out there. But Peter knows how to repay Meg.
You know, in the song where Stewie says laugh and cry? Let me stay, Meg, and it's all yours.
Now you're speaking her language. After all, Stewie can't really be trusted with the song after that incident.
Suck my cock, mother.
Unfortunately, that means she has 4 man-children to watch now.
Hey, Meg.
Hey.
Meg, I saw a sign about active diarrhea. What if it's very passive?
But it doesn't take long for the guys to ignore all the rules and expend Meg's patience.
Okay, guys, out of the pool. I gave you a chance and you blew it. You're kicked out of the park.
But you're gonna have to catch him first. Quick, to the deep end.
Dad!
Despite probably having a broken neck, Meg decides to give CPR a try first. Good news, Peter is saved. Bad news, now they're gonna have to move to the Appalachian Mountains where father-daughter kissing is tolerated.
My God, Peter, that's your daughter.
And unfortunately for them, that was just weird enough to make it onto local news.
Local man Peter Griffin was revived by a game of tonsil hockey with Lifeguard Meg Griffin.
Hey, that unholy spit swapping saved a life today.
Babe, it's not what you think.
Yeah, I was just saving his life. He means nothing to me.
Well, that's not how that works. You're technically married to your father now. I don't make the rules, I just blindly follow them without question. But the rest of the family is still being weird about it. Maybe they just need to see it in action. Man, those stairs do not let Peter catch a break. But Meg's worried about it being too weird again, so a different member of the family has to step in.
What's the big deal? You stick your tongue down Dad's throat, most natural thing in the world.
I don't even know if Stewie thought Peter needed CPR when he started doing that. But now Peter has learned how important it is for Meg to have a space to call her own, and he apologizes.
You're a terrible father, and I'm counting the days till I move out of this house.
Aw, and he loves you too, Meg. And Meg fell in love with her surrogate baby so much that she actually kept her parents from seeing her in Fertilized Meg. So Meg is helping Bruce clean up at the bowling alley when the topic of kids comes up.
I don't know how you handle all these kids every week.
Oh, I don't mind. I like children. Always wanted one of my own.
Unfortunately, you need an oven to make a bun, and Bruce and Jeffrey are not oven owners. They don't even have an air fryer or a microwave.
I have an oven. I mean, it may not close all the way, and it's definitely not self-cleaning, but it works.
Oh sure, Meg, rub your gross womanhood in his face some more, why don't you? Not literally, you know what I mean. Luckily, Meg finally puts 2 and 2 together.
Mom, Dad, I'm having Bruce and Jeffrey's baby.
But Peter and Lois are against the idea. Lois already went down this road before, and we all know how that turned out.
We had the abortion.
But Meg is a big girl now and can make big girl decisions.
You're gonna ruin your life and I won't have any part of it.
Well, too bad, because I'm 18 and you can't stop me.
It's fine, Lois. This obviously isn't Meg's first rodeo.
Mama!
What are you doing out of your box?
So now it's time for the egg to be put inside Meg. Unfortunately, taking it over easy or sunny side up wasn't an option.
Is this gonna hurt?
Not at all. Nurse, wheel in the implantation cannon.
Yeah, that's why we stopped using cannons in war, because they were too gentle. So with that out of the way, we move on to the next stage, weird food cravings.
Can someone please go get me a cup of buffalo sauce and a hollowed out pickle to use as a straw to suck up the sauce?
Wild how 2 things that sound great alone can be put together in such a revolting way. At least Peter sees the upside. Meg's pregnancy is way more tolerable than that other lady who shot out 3 kids in this house.
Peter, that was me. And no way was I worse than this.
Luckily, the show has the wherewithal to let us skip all the gross stuff like morning sickness and just montage our way to 9 months later.
Guys, I think my water just broke.
Water is a liquid and can't be broken? Geez, I hope that baby doesn't come out with your brains, Meg. Luckily, Meg is placed in the most medically capable hands that $10 can get you.
Okay, we're out of gloves, so I'm gonna catch it with this Panda Express bag.
Oh, be sure to take the extra sauce out first. I know it'll just end up sitting in the back of a drawer for years, but I'll use it one day.
Oh, it's in the bag already. It's a girl.
Well, that was easy. I don't know why people make such a fuss about childbirth. It looks like a breeze. But now that the baby is here, Meg isn't exactly ready to let go and offers to watch her for a bit.
You know what? Why don't I take the first shift?
But the first shift ends up being several days, and the family's already getting tired of hearing a baby cry every day.
Hey, look at the bright side, Lois. With that baby around, you look like the hottest grandma in town.
Is that a compliment? An insult? I'm not sure, but GILF status seems like something Lois will really enjoy.
Now that I'm a hot grandma, I bought one of those novelty wine glasses that's big enough to hold an entire bottle of wine.
But it looks like Meg is doing pretty well as a mom. Good thing the baby has her and not those deadbeats Bruce and Jeffrey.
Abandoned? We wanted to come over, but Meg kept saying it was a bad time.
I spoke too soon, didn't I? So Meg finally found a purpose in life through this child and lied to keep her around longer. But she's only 18, she still has her whole life ahead of. On second thought, yeah, maybe this is all she'll have. But she concedes and gives the baby over.
Thank you, Meg. You've completed our family. We have our baby, and we have you.
Well, there goes the only thing keeping her family from being huge douches to her. At least little baby what's-her-name could get out of there before the Griffin mind virus infected her. But Meg would fall under the mind virus known as Quagmire, defying her dad's orders and dating him in Quagmire and Meg. So it's Meg's 18th birthday, which means it's time for friends, fun, and non-stop partying.
Surprise!
Oh dear.
Honestly, I'd have been more surprised if people had shown up. They probably didn't want to see another death like at Meg's last party.
Well, happy birthday anyway, Meg. See you in the morning.
But Meg does get one visitor.
Hey, Quagmire, what's going on?
Well, Peter, a little birdie told me that today is Meg's birthday.
Not just her birthday, but the birthday. The birthday that Quagmire probably has marked on his calendar for every teenage girl he knows.
Hey, welcome to the adult club, huh? And you know what? You got another member right next door if you ever want to talk and stuff.
Talk and stuff was the Netflix and chill of that time. I know what game you're playing, Glenn.
Look at Quagmire hitting on that You know he's gonna close the deal.
Peter, that is your daughter.
Quagmire leaves, but they keep the convo going over text. This would be quite the meet cute if one of them wasn't a teen and the other wasn't 60.
Oh.
So Quagmire and Meg decide to go out on a date, but Peter isn't having it.
Bye, you guys. Me and Glenn are going out.
What? Like hell you are!
As someone who is constantly hit on by Quagmire, Lois surprisingly doesn't see the issue and pushes them out the door. There must be a gas leak because somehow Peter is the smarter parent in this situation.
Peter, nothing's gonna happen. Don't you see? She's only doing this to get a rise out of us.
And Quagmire's only doing this to get a rise out of, well, you get what I'm saying. Their date goes well and they share a sweet little 4 decades apart kiss, but Peter makes sure that's all they do.
Did you have with my daughter?
Peter, trust me, it's not happening.
Yet. It's always yet with Quagmire. Sure, most people haven't slept with Quagmire. Yet.
It's like you're asking a fish not to swim. She's legal and I'm going in.
Well, we'll see about that.
So Peter does what he can to keep the pressure on them from interrupting their tickle fights.
Hey, gang, got room for one more right in the middle of you two?
To hosing Quagmire down like a feral alley cat.
Aww.
I heard a cute aw in there. Cool down!
No wonder he likes cats so much. He seems to have more in common with them than other people. Peter tries to convince Meg to stop seeing Quagmire, but she fights back and even has Lois on her side.
I told you not to push her about this Quagmire thing. If you push too hard, you're gonna push her right into his arm.
And soon Quagmire will start pushing too. Then after enough pushing, you've got 5 grandkids and a son-in-law who's older than you. But when Lois learns that Quagmire is taking Meg to his cabin, she suddenly becomes concerned.
Quagmire has a name for that cabin. He calls it his sex cabin.
No, he doesn't. He calls it the Stuff It In.
Okay, great name, but now might actually be the time to start panicking. Of course, this is one of those rare times where Peter was right and Lois was wrong, so he's afforded some time for dunking.
Oh, don't worry, Peter. He's not gonna sleep with her. That's you.
Thankfully, Peter and Lois make it before any funny business can happen.
You get away from my daughter, you pervert! Meg, get in the car. We're going home.
Whoa, it's kind of disorientating seeing Peter actually parent his kids. I guess 18 years later isn't too late to start.
If you ever touch my daughter again, I will cut your thing off and feed it to Brian.
Sounds like the ultimate victory for Brian. Still, all of this could have been avoided if Lois actually cared enough to parent Meg. That's asking a lot, I know. And Lois's lack of proper parenting would also drive Meg to pursue a career as a foot model in This Little Piggy. So the family is attending a celebration at Stewie's preschool when Meg is approached by a photographer.
Listen, you probably get asked this all the time, but have you ever modeled?
Every time someone tries, the camera just breaks. Even technology wants nothing to do with her.
You think I could model?
Sure, you've got a great look. Here's my number. Give me a call if you're interested.
Wow, so she's gonna get her picture taken and a guy gave her his number? She's really killing it today. If Peter doesn't throw any trash at her, this might just be the best day of her life. I wonder how her parents will take to the news.
Lois, please send these back to the factory. I believe they're defective.
Peter's a terrible parent, but you gotta respect his drive to commit to the bit just to make a point. But her first shoot seems to go really well, and she can't wait to see the final product.
Wait, Ben, are they all of my feet?
Hey, the foot market is pretty lucrative. It's not as revealing as posing nude, yet somehow a lot more degenerate.
When you asked me to model, I thought you meant real modeling.
This is real modeling, and you could be our next big star.
But that doesn't mean she has to tell her parents, especially after all their jokes and ridicule.
Did they take a picture of you eating a whole pizza pie next to an astonished chef?
Well, they won't be laughing when that money starts rolling in. If only clams had feet, it would be over for that market.
You got 35,000 views in one night, and none of them got past the 4th picture.
Nice. I mean, that's gross to think about, but nice.
I guess when you put it that way, I wouldn't want to let down Drizzlefoot321.
All right, fess up. Which one of you freaks is Drizzlefoot321? Well, I may have some theories on who that could be. But Chris notices the birthmark on the foot, puts 2 and 2 together, and 15 despicable minutes later, he breaks the news to the parents.
Mom! Dad! Meg is doing foot.
What? Oh my God!
Don't think of it as her being an adult actress. Think of her as a self-starting entrepreneur. That doesn't make it better, does it? So they confront Meg to get her to quit, but she has no intention of leaving that world behind.
All you've done is make fun of anybody possibly thinking I could be a model.
Maybe Lois is just jealous that she doesn't have the feet to make it. Peter, on the other hand, maybe there's something there. The parents try to figure out where Meg is gone, so it only makes sense to get the expert on the case.
Says there's a shoe party tonight.
Shoot. What's that?
It's 50 guys, 1 foot.
In that case, bring the thickest waterproof shoes you've got. I'd say it'll be a bloodbath, but we all know what kind of bath it'll actually be. Luckily, Peter and Lois arrive just in time before anything gross can happen.
Your mom and I are sorry for always putting you down.
That's right. You shouldn't have to do to feel appreciated.
Probably worth making that clear before she ended up at some guy's house with 50 strangers, but better late than never, I guess.
Not so fast. I promised these men a foot.
Finally, now is Joe's time to shine.
What did you say is going on the other side of this curtain?
Don't worry about it. Just keep watching Tower Heist.
And maybe when you're done, just cut off the foot and throw it away. Trust me on that one. But Meg would feel desired again after she was bought by a foreign prince, leading to Stewie and Brian saving her against her will in Leggo My Meg-O. So Meg is enjoying all the wonderful parts of high school, like being ganged up on in gym class.
I pick everyone except Meg.
Fair enough. Go!
Hey, at least all the attention is on her. That's kinda like being popular, right?
No, I don't think I can take another semester at the school, Ruth. It's torture.
Luckily, Meg's friend has a way for her to get out and also do a little bit of traveling.
If you hate it so much here, why don't you come to Paris for a semester with me instead? I'm leaving next week.
Aren't you two supposed to be friends? You're leaving the country next week, and this is the first time Meg's hearing about it? Not a good look, rhubarb. Or whatever your name is. But anyway, Meg decides to do it and leaves the country.
And I'm gonna bring you back something special, little guy.
Don't worry about me, just get yourself laid.
See, the baby gets what foreign travel is all about. When Meg and Ruth land in Paris, they're immediately approached by a suspicious-looking fellow.
Would you ladies like to share a cab? Or as we say, share a cab?
Wow, French really is the most romantic language. It sounds almost otherworldly. Meg makes it to her apartment and decides to phone home, only to witness something horrific.
Dad, something's going on. Some men just broke in.
Oh no, it looks like they're about to be taken. This is just like that one movie, Kidnap. Luckily, Peter is there to instill some fatherly advice.
Take short, rapid breaths. Then hide under the bed, but leave 2 of your feet sticking out.
Good to know Peter has all the survivability of a turtle on its back. His suggestions lead to Meg getting grabbed, and Peter's ready to face this problem head on.
These guys are serious. Lois, Meg's dead!
Well, she had a good run, though it was more like a jog, actually. A power walk, a brisk shuffle. Who am I kidding? It was a painful hobble, if anything. With the FBI failing to find her, it looks like the task will be in the hands of a dog and baby. Doesn't that fill you with confidence?
You're the only one who's got the know-how and the technology to help us track her down.
So Stewie and Brian arrive in Paris to find the apartment ransacked. Who knew Meg and Ruth were such slobs? But with the help of Google Earth, they managed to find a clue.
We've got to find this man.
Let's see, this was taken at the airport. He could be some sort of lookout who spots girls fresh off the plane.
But surely that guy isn't dumb enough to return to the last place he was seen. Oh, look, there he is.
Have you seen this girl? Quick, he's getting away!
Unfortunately, this guy's into parkour, and there's 2 things I know about those guys. 1, they'll always tell you they're into parkour, and 2, they aren't bus-proof.
Oh no. I have shattered myself.
Well, looks like he won't be needing that wallet anymore. He was a kidnapper. It's morally okay to loot his dead body. An address in his wallet leads them to a human auction, which the 2 managed to infiltrate.
Hey, got one more here.
Oh, where are we? I'm from Atlanta. I don't know where we are.
Not sure a human trafficking auction is the time to try and get your SAG card, Stewie. Their disguises eventually get seen through, but at least they find what they're looking for.
This next girl is perfect for those of you who want to buy a sex slave, but don't want to spend sex slave money.
Meg should make that her yearbook quote so she never forgets the fun time she had abroad. She's brought to the man who purchased her, but it seems that things aren't as they appear.
I bought you for my son, and not to be his slave, but to be his wife.
She's living the dream of so many romantic fanfictions. I don't read them because I like them, I read them to laugh at them, okay?
Fair goddess, it is my hope that you will agree to be my wife, but the choice is yours.
Dare I say the kidnapping can sometimes be good? Nah, I think it's still bad. But before they can share their first kiss...
No! Stewie?
Hi, Meg.
Well, Meg is returned home with zero memory of the life she almost had. Stewie probably doesn't realize it, but he just screwed her over big time. But not as big as the time he accidentally shot Meg out into space in the episode Space Cadet. So Peter and Lois are called into the school to address Chris's troubling behavior.
He tried to pass this drawing off as his advanced art project.
Oh my.
I'm very embarrassed.
Sick burn. Just out of curiosity, how many outstanding animated program Emmys does Family Guy have?
I feel awful saying it, but I'm kind of embarrassed by him sometimes.
I know, and he's got boobs, too.
Real pot calling the kettle black situation here. You guys aren't exactly prime role models either. Unfortunately, Chris heard all of that.
I just wanted to listen to you guys have sex, but you were saying mean things about me!
I take it back. This whole family is just a cesspool of embarrassment.
Oh, God! Peter, he heard us call him stupid! His own parents! What have we done?
So Chris now thinks he's an idiot, and Lois is unsure of what to do to help him.
We've got to do something!
You know, Lois, if Chris is having confidence issues, they have camps for kids like him.
Whoa! I know Chris isn't the smartest tool in the tool shed, but I don't think he deserves to be rounded up and put in a camp. But Lois thinks this is a great idea and decides to let Chris pick which educational camp to go to.
Hey, this one looks cool. Space camp.
That might be a little too much for you. How about something easier, like theater camp, music camp, or putting the shapes in the correct holes camp?
What are you saying, that I'm too stupid for it?
Chris, we're over here.
Well, no point in breaking the little idiot's heart any further. Looks like Chris is going to space camp.
Be sure to grab your physics textbooks, and you may want to brush up for tomorrow's lecture on orbital dynamics.
I think Chris knows at least 4 of those words he just said, and I don't think book or brush is among them.
Mom, I hate it here. I want to come home. All the kids are mean, and I keep messing everything up.
Well, you gotta be a little mean to be an astronaut. How else are you gonna fight the aliens that live on the moon? So the family comes to pick him up, but they don't want to leave until they've at least seen the space shuttle.
A week ago, we called him stupid, and now he's giving tours of the space shuttle.
Yeah, either they shape up or they try to blow up a building. It's a 50-50 toss-up, but it's worth the risk.
I don't know what most of these buttons do, but I know this big red one is the one you press to launch.
Ooh, big red button!
So a huge rocket is just as easy to start as a Tesla, and just as combustible.
I think we're launching.
Oh my God! Everyone strap yourselves in!
So now the Griffins are in space, which is what eventually happens to every sitcom. We call that jumping the space shark.
I know you all must be pretty terrified right now, but we're doing everything in our power to get you safely back to Earth.
So while they wait, the family enjoys the wonders of space and the spacecraft.
Meg's poking around the cargo hold. I'm gonna give her a little scare.
Well, she's the star's problem now. And judging by Stewie and Brian's faces, we're just gonna pretend that little oopsie never happened.
Come on, we're running out of time!
Oh, what the hell? I mean, yay, Meg's back. Somehow. Yeah, they never explained how she came back, but the fact Brian and Stewie were ready to just move on without her was pretty telling. And Chris was ready to move on after he thought Meg had died since it made him more popular, with him even resorting to kidnapping Meg to keep his social status in Better Off Meg. So Meg comes home to find an empty home and learns that they're all at the boardwalk without her. Well, they think she's there anyway.
Well, this can't be Meg. She's with us here at the pier.
Who is that?
Someone who says she's Meg.
I mean, that does look like Meg with them. She's got the hat and the hat.
If this is you, what's your birthday?
March 23rd.
I have no idea if that's correct.
Better to not risk it and just hang up, right? It's not like there's anything important about today anyway.
Now let's get back to the fair and enjoy our March 23rd.
Like I said, nothing important. So the birthday girl goes and spends her day at the bowling alley instead.
I just need a license.
Thanks.
Oh, and happy birthday.
Man, now I see why Meg wanted to marry Bruce. He's always there to read your birth date and then tell you happy birthday. But while watching the news that night, the Griffins catch a pretty sad bit of breaking news.
Tragedy strikes close to home as a car crash near my apartment claims the life of a local teen girl.
Good thing they don't know any of those. And even if they did, main character armor has their back.
It pains me above the waist to tell you that Meg is dead.
Are you telling me that the wooden, non-verbal, waist-high thing on the couch isn't Meg? I am truly perplexed. I wonder what Meg thinks about being dead and all.
The girl killed near my apartment was Meg Griffin.
What? I'm not dead.
But who is dead is a girl from the bowling alley Bruce accidentally gave Meg's ID to. Huffing shoe spray will do that to you. When it comes time for Meg's funeral, it's not all frowns and tears. After all, Chris now gets to cash in on that sweet, sweet dead sister pity.
Hey, Chris, I'm super sorry your sister is dead. Mwah.
If Chris had known he'd be getting this kind of attention, he'd probably have killed Meg a long time ago. But meanwhile, in the high seats, a disappointed Meg witnesses the small turnout for her funeral.
There's hardly anyone here. Well, that's it. I'm off to a new town to start a new life.
And she does just that, getting her own little sitcom intro to detail her move and everything. If this was a real show, it'd be the first to ever receive -5 views.
Hi, new neighbor. I just thought I'd come by and see if I could borrow a cup of tampons.
How are you gonna borrow a tampon? You plan on giving it back? Despite the weird request, Meg seems to integrate into her new life and new friends pretty quickly.
To Natalie Hallway, our new friend.
And hey, Chris is becoming pretty cool now too. Who says having a sibling die isn't always worth it?
I heard you scored with the girls' basketball team yesterday.
Yep, 12 points and 8 rebounds.
But of course, all that has to be ruined by a call from beyond the grave. Or more accurately, the next city over.
Hello?
Hey, Chris.
Meg! Are you alive?
Nah, they just have really good cell service in the afterlife. So the two meet, and Meg explains that despite having a much better life, she misses the way things were.
I missed Mom. I missed you. I missed the whole family.
And Chris is probably enough of a stand-up guy to give up his popularity to once again be a full family?
Let's talk about it in the van.
Well, probably doesn't always equal definitely. So Chris ties her up and leaves her in a warehouse so he can continue to enjoy his new status.
Well, Meg, looks like you really are dead this time.
At least in her final moments, she can remember all the good times she had.
I'm not in any of these.
Ladies and gentlemen, Mr. Conway Twitty.
Oh, come on!
Huh, so no good times? Yeah, maybe you should have kept playing dead.
I'm gonna show them. I'm gonna live. I'm getting out of here.
And out of pure spite, the best kind of spite, she manages to escape.
I'm alive! I'm alive!
She calls Chris out and he admits to stowing her away for popularity's sake. Nothing a few kind words can't fix though.
Anyway, Meg, wherever you are, I'm sorry.
And just like that, we learn that Meg potentially gives the family more value dead than alive. That's pretty depressing, but look on the bright side. Oh, there is no bright side? Well, time to get over it then, I guess. But there's no getting over Peter's favor from God, which saw Meg get literally erased from existence in 3 acts of God. So the gang is enjoying the great American pastime of football, and the even greater American pastime of watching their favorite team lose.
Oh my God, it's a fumble! It's picked up by the Bills, and they're gonna score the game-winning touchdown!
Yeah, that sucks, but maybe the true touchdown was the friends they made along the way, right? Though Peter begins to suspect why the Patriots have had such a bad season.
All thanks and praise goes to God. He really won this one for us.
So God's rigging football games now? He must have some debts he really needs to pay off before he gets his kneecaps broken.
Guys, I'm tired of God messing with football. We gotta do something about it.
So it looks like the fellas are gonna have to find God. Physically. Not in like a soul-searchy kind of way. I don't think that would have been as interesting of an episode.
Peter, the idea of God, let alone that he'd care anything about football, is absurd.
Brian, you've literally met Jesus. How much longer are you gonna keep up this contrarian song and dance? So the guys first try the obvious by looking for him in the house of God, aka church.
There was a baby's funeral going on in there.
Dang, could have asked the baby to give God a message once he got to him. So with no exact address for God, they figured they could just ask one of his close personal friends about his whereabouts.
Carrie Underwood credits her success to personal relationship with God.
You think she knows where we can find him?
The Jesus take the wheel lady? I don't know, sounds less like God's friend and someone who just always wants to be the passenger princess. So the gang hits up the Country Music Awards to question Miss Underwood.
Do you know where we can find God?
Well, God is everywhere. He's in our hearts, and we take him with us wherever we go.
Yeah, I don't think they can put all that into Google Maps. And so the search continues as the guys aren't willing to give up.
Yeah, we gotta do this, even if it means traveling to the ends of the earth.
Well, hope you know how to pilot a spaceship then, Glenn.
It was commonly held that one could speak to the gods from the top of Mount Olympus. We should probably go there.
Hopefully the Greek gods aren't still mad about how we all stopped believing in them and making sacrifices. Hey, Zeus could always go into the electricity business, but they only end up finding one of the less cool gods, Kronos.
Oh, cool. What do you do?
I tell the time and make gift baskets.
Neat. You definitely sound like someone worth throwing a few virgins into a volcano for. So the guys return home empty-handed, but luckily they run into one of God's faithful employees.
Wait a minute, Death, you work with God. Will you take us to him?
Sure, I guess I could.
You might want to clarify that your plan to meet God isn't code for dying. Death might be a little less excited. So Death takes them to heaven, which kinda just looks like a Florida retirement resort.
Oh hey, I'm God. Welcome to heaven.
Was kind of expecting pearly gates and a paradise in the clouds, but I guess Sarasota's cool too.
Stop making the Patriots lose.
I'm God. I don't have to do anything.
Yeah, so you admit it.
Maybe.
So he is rigging games, but it isn't because of the fans or New England in general.
It's Belichick. I don't like him. I gave that guy 3 Super Bowls, and he never smiled once.
So you just hate the head coach? God's will really is mysterious, but God cuts them a deal. If they can make Bill Belichick smile, he'll leave the Patriots alone. So what makes Belichick laugh? Human suffering, of course.
After I injured my legs, my doctor said I'd be walking again in 2 weeks.
That's hysterical.
What a swell guy who definitely has a soul. So God honors their agreement, but Peter also throws in one teensy little miracle he could perform for him.
What's happening?
Don't look at her. Don't look at her. It's okay. Just go with it.
Yeah, so Peter didn't waste his opportunity to speak with God, and unfortunately, Meg pays the price. Hopefully she remembered to pack a towel for when she got to heaven. And I hope you'll remember to leave a like if you enjoyed this video, and don't forget to subscribe so you can be the first to know when we post our weekly Family Guy videos.